Welcome to the world of biology through Jaguar classes from Jagran Public School, Noida. In today's lecture, we will continue with the chapter Animal Kingdom, and in this part of this chapter, we will cover the topics silent features of non chordates, and specifically, we will talk about the phylum Platyhelminthes and phylum Asaliminthes. And after today's class, the learning outcomes, which are knowledge based, that we are expecting from you are you will be able to recall the basic knowledge of classification of non chordates or invertebrate groups of animal kingdom, and you will be able to describe the characteristic feature of phylum Platyhelminthes and phylum Asaliminthes. In skill based learning outcomes, you would be able to practice your listening skills to differentiate between Platyhelminthes and Asaliminthes. Side by side, you can compare these two phyla with the earlier phyla that we have studied in earlier classes. Competencies that you will develop after today's class: collaborative learning, critical thinking, and problem solving, communication, and analytical skills to solve the various exercises, assignments, and worksheet on the given topic. Let's start with our today's class. Today's class. In today's class of this chapter, Animalia Kingdom, we will continue with the classification of non-chordates, and in this class we will focus on characteristic feature or salient features of non-chordates. Specifically, we will talk about in detail the phylum Platyhelminthes and phylum Asaliminthes. Before going to discuss about the detail of these two phyla, once again we will recapitulate the phyla of non-chordates into which these are divided, and these are Porifera, Cnidaria, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Asaliminthes, which is also known as Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, and Echinodermata. Out of these 9, we have till now discussed about salient features of Porifera, Cnidaria, and Ctenophora. Today we will talk about Platyhelminthes and Asaliminthes or Nematoda. Let's start to discuss about Platyhelminthes first. These we have already covered these slides, and now we will start with the phylum Platyhelminthes. Now, in this slide or presentation, you can see this is the figure or this is the picture of Taenia solium, which is one of the representative of Platyhelminthes group or Platyhelminthes phylum. Commonly it is known as tapeworm because of its tape-like structure. And the special or general characteristic feature of this group body shows in this group body shows organ level of organization on the basis of germinal layers. They are triploblastic and acoelomate organisms with a leaf or ribbon-like dorso-ventrally flattened body showing bilateral symmetry. The body is differentiated into anterior head that you can see in this picture. This is the head region with hooks and suckers and nervous tissues, and a tail region which is at the posterior end of the organism. Nervous system is very primitive type. Excretion and osmoregulation occur by means of flame cells or protonephridia. These are their excretory organs, excretory excretory structures which help in excretion process. Reproduction is mostly sexual since these animals are mostly hermaphrodite with internal fertilization. As I have already told you, hermaphrodite means bisexual animals in which one individual bears both the sex gametes, male and female organs are present in the same animal body. Asexual reproduction seen in planarians is by fission and regeneration, and they are mostly endoparasites. Example, Taenia solium and planaria. Now, in this presentation or in this slide, you can see that classes of Platyhelminthes. There are three classes into which this phylum is divided: Tuberellea and Trematoda and Cestoda. When we are talking about Turbellaria, the body is soft and ribbon or leaf-like in this class, and they are flatworms with a mouth, pharynx and intestine. Anus is absent in this class. Animals are hermaphrodites. Asexual reproduction takes place by regeneration. Example are Planaria and Thysanojune. Now come to know about the class Trematoda. In Trematoda, liver flukes comes and which causes the parasitic disease of the liver, and animals are ecto or endoparasites with a leaf-like body and one or more suckers are present in their body. Their life cycle involves more than one host. Anus is absent and the body surface helps in the exchange of gases. They are mostly hermaphrodites. Liver fluke and blood fluke are the example of this class. Now come to know about Cestoda class. In this class, the ribbon-like body of the organism is divided into false segment that you can see here in case of tapeworm, and which are known as proglottids. Digestive system is absent since all these animals are endoparasitic, and the body is covered with a tough cuticle. Organ of locomotion is absent. Head bears hooks and suckers that you can see here. This is the head region and these are the suckers or hooks present here, with the help of which they can intact with the or stick with the organs of the um, host organism. Organ of locomotion is absent in them. Head bears hooks and suckers for attachment to the host, and Taenia solium or tapeworm is coming in this class. Now come to know about the detailed characteristic features of phylum Asaliminthes, which is also known as Nematoda or Nematyhelminthes. These animals which are belonging to this Asaliminthes group have a triploblastic and pseudocoelomate body with an organ level of organization. The body is long, thread-like, unsegmented and cylindrical with bilateral symmetry. They have a complete alimentary canal, tube-in-tube system. Most of them are parasitic and have a head with hooks and suckers. Nervous system consists of circumpharyngeal nerve ring around the esophagus. Reproduction is sexual as sexes are separate in these organisms. Examples are Ascaris, which is also known as commonly roundworm, and Enterobius pinworm and Encyclostomata hookworm. Now here in this slide you can see the characteristic feature of one of the organism or one of the animal belonging to Asaliminthes phylum, that is Ascaris lumbricoides, which is known as roundworm, and these worms are present in our intestine and causing the disease ascariasis in childhood especially. Now know about this particular organism. This worm is endoparasitic to humans. Males are smaller than females. You can see in this diagram. Males are generally in size smaller than the females, and the females lay large number of eggs which are discharged with feces or fecal matter. When food contaminated with these eggs is consumed, the eggs hatch and move to the intestine via the circulatory system, and there are no secondary hosts present in their life cycle, and it causes the ascaris in children with severe anemia. Now this is the second organism or second animal of this group, Asaliminthes, that is Acyclostoma duodenale, which is known as hookworm. This worm is also a parasitic worm and lives in the intestine of humans. It causes a disease called encyclostomiasis, in which the infected person becomes severely anemic. And here is the life cycle of this worm, that you can see here how it is completing its life cycle inside human host. The third species of this phylum that we are talking about, Wucheria bancrofti, which are also known as filarial worms, and it causes a disease, filariasis, in humans, and it requires a secondary host, the Culex mosquito. Females are larger than males and discharge larvae called microfilaria into the blood. The mosquito sucks the infected blood, and the larvae then develop in the gut. When such a mosquito bites a healthy person, the larvae are transferred into the blood. They move to the lymph glands and grow to become adults, and there they cause obstruction and swelling, and the disease is known as elephantiasis. Here is the diagram in which you can see the life cycle of this, through how through the mosquito it get inside our body, and here it get adults in lymphatics, and then after developing here it can move to the mosquito, and next is of the stages of its life cycle are completing in mosquito, and then in larval form through mosquito it again comes in the body of the humans. Now here is a quick recapitulation of the last two classes and today's class, in which we have covered up these topics related with the non-chordates group or non-chordates phyla. Here are the main points covered in the topics. Non-chordates do not possess a notochord during any time of their life cycle. Protozoans are unicellular. They are classified as Mastigophora, Sarcodina, Celiophora, and Sporozoa. Example are Paramecium. Phylum Porifera is classified into Calcaria, Hexantilida, and Demospongia. Example are Cycon. Phylum Cnidaria with a cylindrone cavity is classified into Hydrozoa, Cephalozoa, and Anthrozoa. Examples are Hydra. Animals belonging to phylum Ctenophora are also called comb jellies or sea walnuts, and examples are Pleurobrachia. Phylum Platyhelminthes or flatworms are divided into three classes: Turbellaria, Trematoda, and Cestoda. Examples are Taenia solium and Wucheria worm are coming in the Asaliminthes, and this group consists of parasitic worms which causes ascariasis and cyclostomiasis and elephantiasis. Examples are ascariasis, Wucheria bancrofti are the main example belonging to this group. Now try to understand this these points with the help of a video where you can see the Platyhelminthes phylum's general characteristic feature, and watch this video to understand.
Platyhelminthes. Animals such as cows, deer, rabbits, and humans have bony endoskeleton. and are referred to as vertebrates. Animals such as earthworms and cockroaches, which do not have a bony endoskeleton, are referred to as invertebrates. This group can be subdivided into several phyla, namely Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes, Nemathelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, and Echinodermata. In this session, we'll focus on phylum Platyhelminthes. The members of this phylum have a body that is flat and ribbon-like, giving them the name flatworms. They are bilaterally symmetrical organisms, meaning that if you drew a line straight down their middle, the left and right halves would look identical. They have tissues and internal organs. Not only were they the first organisms to develop an organ system, but they were also the first organisms whose anterior end developed into a head, a process called cephalization. Although the flatworm's digestive system includes a mouth, there is no anus. Instead, excretion is performed by special cells called flame cells. It has no respiratory or circulatory systems. The nervous system is relatively simple, comprised only of a brain and nerve cords. Most flatworms are hermaphrodites, meaning both the male and female sex organs can be found within the same animal. The majority of these organisms are parasites and can be found living inside humans and other animals. Phylum Platyhelminthes can be divided into three classes: Turbellaria, Trematoda, and Cestoda. Turbellaria consists of free-living flatworms, meaning they are not parasitic and don't need a host. Trematoda consists of flukes, which are parasitic flatworms. One such fluke is Schistosoma, commonly known as the blood fluke, a parasite of humans that causes the disease schistosomiasis. Cestoda includes tapeworms. An example of this is Taenia solium, commonly called tapeworm or poke tapeworm, a parasite of both humans and pigs. Summary: Phylum Platyhelminthes comprises organisms that are flat and ribbon-like. Platyhelminths are commonly called flatworms.
Now, in next session, we will see the characteristic feature of animal group, that is Asaliminthes. For this, we are going to see the presentation from ninth class group, and in ninth class you have also studied about the diversity in the living organism, in which we have discussed about different phylum of animal kingdom and their characteristic feature. Now from this presentation we will try to learn the characteristic feature of Nematoda or Nematyhelminthes.
Nemathelminthes. In vertebrates, the animals without a bony endoskeleton can be classified into several phyla. One such phylum is Nemathelminthes, more commonly known as nematodes or roundworms. Although the phylum consists of some free-living members, meaning they don't need a host to survive, it is better known for its parasites, which rely on humans, other animals, and plants as their hosts. In addition to living as parasites, nematodes can be found in soil, as well as fresh water and marine environments. Let's learn some of the general characters of phylum Nemathelminthes. Roundworms are slender and tapered at both ends. They are referred to as bilaterally symmetrical organisms, meaning that if their body is cut longitudinally from end to end, it will yield two halves that appear to be almost identical. Their bodies have two openings, a mouth and an anus. The digestive tract begins with the mouth and ends with the anus, an opening through which wastes are expelled. And although they have a digestive system, they have no circulatory or respiratory system. If we cut open the body, we'll see an arrangement that resembles a tube within a tube. Between the two tubes sits the pseudocoelom, a cavity filled with pseudocoelomic fluid. Nematodes are referred to as triploblastic, meaning their bodies have three layers of tissue: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Male and female nematodes are distinctly different from one another. The most common roundworm parasites found in humans are Ascaris, which is also found in pigs and horses. This parasite originates inside the intestines of its host. Other common roundworms include the hookworm and Celostoma, the filarial worm, Wuchereria, which causes filariasis, and the pinworm, Enteropius. Summary: Phylum Nemathelminthes or Nematoda is comprised of roundworms which have a slender, unsegmented body. Nematodes are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, pseudocoelomate organisms. Ascaris, Wuchereria, and Enteropius are some common parasites found in humans.
Now, I hope that you will clear about all the characteristic feature of these two non-chordates phyla, Platyhelminthes and Nematyhelminthes. In third session or the last session of this class, we will conclude once again both phylums characteristic feature with the
Invertebrates are mainly classified into 8 main phyla. They are Porifera, Coelenterata, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, and Echinodermata.
In this chart, they have not included the Ctenophora. That's why their counting is coming 8 phyla, because this is the chart that they have given and that we have studied in class 9th. But in class 11th, there is one more phyla that we have added, that is Ctenophora, that we have already studied. Now, let's start with
Let's summarize what we have learned so far.
This is about the summary of Platyhelminthes and Nematoda's characteristic feature. From this chart, you can easily make the notes of differences or the comparison between these two phyla, and that you can note down in your register also. Now,
invertebrates are mainly classified into 8 main phyla. Invertebrates are mainly classified into 8 main phyla. They are Porifera, Coelenterata, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, and Echinodermata. Each phylum has its characteristic features. For now, we will look at the phyla, Platyhelminthes, and Nematoda in detail. Click on each phylum to learn more about it. Animals belonging to phylum Platyhelminthes are soft, leaf or ribbon-like, unsegmented, and dorsoventrally flat. Therefore, they are commonly known as flatworms. Flatworms live in water or moist environments. Some flatworms are free-living, such as Planaria. Yet others, such as tapeworm and liver fluke, are parasitic. In parasitic forms, hooks and suckers are present at the anterior end of the body. Platyhelminthes exhibit bilateral symmetry. They are acoelomates as they lack a body cavity or coelom. Most free-living forms have cilia covering the body. The parasitic ones have a thick cuticle. They have three cell layers in the body: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Therefore, they are triploblastic. Flatworms have an organ system level of body organization. The space between the body wall and internal organs is occupied by a mesodermal tissue called parenchymas. Flatworms lack respiratory and circulatory systems. The exchange of gases takes place by diffusion. They have an incomplete digestive system. Flatworms have a well-developed nervous system with a tiny processing center called ganglion, which is connected to nerve cords. The cords are in turn connected by transverse nerves. Excretion and osmoregulation in flatworms is controlled by flame cells. Platyhelminthes are hermaphrodites with both the male and female sex organs. They are not of any economic importance. They cause diseases in animals and humans.
Now, I think you are clear about the platyhelminthes in detail, and now we will talk about the and recapitulate the nematodian characteristic feature.